Michael Nysewander. I hope you're doing well, Michael. Welcome into the game.
Ryan, how are you?
I'm doing very well. And I've been working my sources today, and I've been trying to find information, but sources tell me that you could become an uncle very, very soon.
That is correct. Here in about less than a month, I could be an uncle. I'm hoping. My birthday's on March 30th, so I'm hoping that's the day it comes, but it's a bit of a long shot.
I was actually having lunch today with a fullback who played in 1992. He's a good friend of mine, Martin Houston. We have lunch about once a week, and he said from one fullback to another, campaign for the football. He said he was a great player. They should have gave him the ball more. He said that's what all of us fullbacks want is we want to tote the football.
that would have been nice, but the couple of times that I was able to get my hands on the rock, I certainly enjoyed it and made some memories for sure.
Absolutely. Michael, I want to sort of walk us through this journey that it's been to the University of Alabama. Let's go back to your playing days there at Hoover. Walk us through this recruiting process, if there was one, and talk about how you ended up at the University of Alabama.
Yeah, definitely. My recruiting process was a little different than most people's. I played defensive line at Hoover High School, played defensive end. My junior year I switched over. I was playing the nose guard at 215 pounds, and my junior year, and then I switched back to defensive end my senior year. But I was at Hoover, played for Coach Kiffin up until my junior year, and then my senior year he took a position here at Alabama, and that was kind of my connection, my way in. Coach Scher knew the player that I was, and knew I could contribute, whether it was on the scout team or getting on special teams. He thought I could have a role on the team, and so I grew up an Alabama fan, always wanted to go to Alabama, and made that decision and decided to walk on. Coach Scher kind of helped me out with that, and made the transition from a defensive lineman at 215 pounds to playing scout team linebacker my freshman year there, and then eventually switching over to the offensive side of the ball and kind of finding a spot there.
Michael, did you have offers outside of Alabama? I mean, as far as to walk on or even a scholarship, was there offers?
I did. I had one part scholarship offer to Cumberland University in Tennessee. That was my only offer. And I had a conversation with my dad during the whole process. This could really help. Help out paying for my school and stuff like that. And I said, Dad, honestly, I just want to be in Alabama. I grew up Alabama. I bleed crimson, and I just wanted to be in Alabama. Whether I could have a role on the football team, or whether I was just going to be a student and watching the football games from the stands. I just knew I wanted to be here.
Michael, we are caught up in the moment, and I'm sure you are as well. And from the former players that I talked to, it takes them several years to realize what you guys have been able to accomplish. But not just this year, but just looking at what Alabama's been able to accomplish with winning these titles. You're part of a history, not only in Alabama history, but in college football. What we're going through may never happen again in college football, and we're caught up in it. We don't really appreciate what you guys have been able to accomplish. We do, but we don't. We really don't understand it. We probably won't until 20 years from now. We'll look back and you go, 4 out of the last 7? Did that really happen? Sure it did.
Yeah.
It happened in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And like you're saying, I agree. I don't think it's really quite sunk in yet, to look back and see what I was a part of yet, because, I'm still living in it, kind of. I'm still on cloud 9. But, I mean, the time I got here as a freshman, winning that national championship the first year, and then turning around the year after and winning one back-to-back, and then going out my senior year with another one, it's just, I'm just so blessed, and it's so unbelievable to see what we were able to accomplish over these couple of years. But any place else, I don't think you could do it. I mean, the coaching staff that Coach Saban put together, Coach Saban himself, is just unbelievable. The people he brings in to play for him, I mean, everybody just plays such a big role, and I really don't think it could have been done anywhere else.
Let me ask you about playing for Nick Saban. We see a different side of Nick Saban that you guys see in that locker room. What is it that makes Nick Saban where you guys will walk through anything to defend him? You play harder because of the connection, the bond that you have with Nick Saban. How is that bond created?
I was asked this question the other day, and I really think it comes down to, I don't think he gets enough credit for, you hear guys say it all the time, whether it's Blake Sims or some other guys. They talk about how they come in here as boys and they leave as men, and I can't agree more with that statement. I mean, you myself included, you see guys come in, and they're boys, and you get with Coach Saban, and he makes you a man. He turns you into a man. And it's not just what you learn on the football field, but it's how you conduct yourself in social settings. It's how you conduct yourself in the classroom. And I think really, there's a lot of respect for Coach Saban because of what he does for you, not only on the football field, but what he does for you as a man and just a member of society.
Michael, working your way to where you are today and the impact that you were able to make on this football team, it wasn't easy. Those 100-degree days in August and the push that Nick Saban gets out of his players, walk us through the mental side of it to stay focused. There's a physical side, but the mental side to go what you guys are able to go through because Nick Saban pushes you to the limit. Scott Cochran pushes you to the limit. Your offensive guys, they push you to the limit. Help us understand that mental side of how you get through that to be where you are today.
Yeah, no doubt. I think it takes a special person to play here at Alabama because it's not only a physical grind, but it's such a mental grind. I mean, 24/7, 365. It's around the clock, and you gotta condition yourself mentally to push through those long summer workouts and 100-degree weather, like you're saying. Or you got to push yourself the system that Coach Saban has here of the point system, going to class, doing your work, getting all that stuff done. Because if you don't do the little things right here at Alabama, you're not going to find a way out on the football field. And you see that with tons of guys who come in with all the talent in the world, but they just never can seem to find themselves on the field. And it's because you got to buy into those little things that Coach Saban always talks about in the process. And so it's definitely not only a physical grind, but a mental grind here at Alabama too. So.
We kept hearing about it, and I must tell you, I've covered Alabama football since 2000, and full-time really since about 2004, 2005, and have been doing a daily radio program for quite a while. And this, from my perspective, this was one of the closest teams that I've covered since covering college football. It was just something about that media room, the uniqueness, the way that you guys had it together. Was that the same way in the locker room, and how did that get that way?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think it really goes back to, the summer workouts I was talking about. And, coming off 2 seasons where we were losing both of our bowl games. And that's just, that's not the standard that the guys before us set when we got to Alabama. You don't come to Alabama to lose bowl games. So we collectively, made a decision as a team in the summer, like, this isn't going to happen again. We got to do something. We're coming off two losing streaks in the bowl games. We just didn't want it to be like that. There's too many people that had come before us that have set the groundwork and won championships that we wanted to make a name for ourselves and leave a legacy for ourselves, especially, the guys that were leaving and the seniors and that bunch. But, this team really was close, and I think a lot of it had to do with, our kind of MO this year was how we fought and how we grinded for everything and fought for every inch. And I think it was just, we realized that, okay, everybody in this locker room, that's all we got, because after that Ole Miss loss, there's people talking about, man, Alabama's done, and you're hearing some of the same things you're hearing, the year before and the year before that. And it was just, it came down to the guys and the people in that locker room and nobody else. And I think it just made everybody extremely close, and everybody went to work every day together and fought for each other. And I think that's what did it.
So, it affected me because we like to play audio clips from people hating on Alabama from time to time. Did that serve as a little bit of motivation when you see people saying the foundation's cracked, the dynasty's over, Alabama's finished? You guys took that personal?
I mean, I wouldn't say, we weren't, watching interviews or anything like that, but I definitely, we would hear chatter, we would hear people write us off, and it's just, all the work that we put in, we knew we were better than that, and we knew that wasn't the case, and so, but it was up to us, though. It wasn't up to anybody else. So, we made a collective decision to go to work every day and look forward and not behind us.
Michael Nysewander right now inside the game as we're talking with him about his football playing days at the University of Alabama. He walked on here, able to win some championships, SEC titles as well, and very respected by his teammates. Let me go back to the Clemson game, Michael, because this is a part that it's that reflection of Nick Saban that we talk about, but it's really hard to understand. I'm sitting in the corner of the end zone, and Michael, I got to be honest with you, I'm a homer. Okay, I'm just a homer. Okay, I grew up in this state. I'm an Alabama fan. That's just where I stand. I don't feel like I need to lie to anybody. I just tell people I'm a homer, and I try to give objective opinions, but I'm in the tank for Alabama, okay? So I'm sitting in the corner of that end zone, AT&T Stadium in Phoenix, and I started doubting myself. I started watching this team, and I said, uh-oh, Clemson's just going to have a solid night. It's going to have a solid night. How did you guys fight through that? And I know there was never doubt in you guys that you could win, but, the onside kick and the things that changed the outcome of that game, just a few plays, and you guys are now holding up number 16. And it's like many of us doubted during that game. What was it that kept the composure? And sort of walk us through that if you guys never stopped believing that you were going to win that national title.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, coming into the game, we knew Clemson was a tough opponent. We knew how well they were coached. We knew the type of athletes they had. But in every big game, and every game really, it comes down to just a few plays, like you were saying, that determine the outcome of the game. And, I think it comes down to, again, just that's why you come to Alabama. You come to Alabama to win championships. You're trained to win championships here. And the way you get that done is just, you got to take what you do in practice every day. You win the game through practice. You hear that all the time. You win the game through practice Monday through Thursday, and then the result comes Saturday. But it comes down to a couple of those plays, and including that onside kick like you were talking about, for an example. I mean, in the huddle, before we took the field, Coach Saban just said, calmly, cool, collected, just calmly asked Griff, "You think you can get the ball over there?" I mean, they're cheated over on the half, and just, without any hesitation, just said, "Absolutely, sure, I can do it." So we go out there, and we didn't even blink. We just went out there and executed it. We'd worked on it through practice, so often, and I think that's, again, another difference from Alabama. You come to win championships, and you buy into those little things, and you train yourself before the game even happens to win the game, and I think that was another case here, what happened against Clemson.
All right, walk us through. You're the guy that is closest to Adam kicking this football. And if you need to go, man, I'm in a deep conversation here with you, so I really appreciate you. So if you've got another obligation, man, I only ask you for about 15 minutes, so I do appreciate you joining us, but I'd love to be able to walk through this if you got a couple of extra minutes.
I got nowhere to be.
All right, so let me go through this, okay? You're closest to Adam on this onside kick that really turned this game around. How, are you over peeking out of the corner of your eye and you're looking at where Clemson's lined up? And I know you're not trying to tip it off, but are you at least cheating to see, wow, this is really going to work? At what point did you realize it was going to work, and how did you keep from, looking and going, wow? I mean, what was sort of going through your mind? Because at that point the onside kick has been called.
Yeah. Well, going into the game, we knew it would work if Adam could get it executed, and because just the way Clemson plays teams that have a kickoff unit like we do, they cheat. We cheat over our guys, so Clemson they would cheat over as well to match our guys. So we knew it would work. It was just a matter of if Griff thought he could do it or not. And that just shows the confidence that Coach Saban has, and not only Griff, but a bunch of his players. He just calmly asked Griff, can you put it over there? We kind of need it right here. And Griff, just calmly said, yeah, and he dropped a dime over there. And so, like I said, everybody was prepared for it. We work on that every week in practice, even before that Clemson game. We always have those scenarios and go over them. And so, I think everybody on the field at that time, was confident it was going to work, and including Griff, and I think everybody just executed, to the T.
Oh, it's fun to go back and watch that onside kick. We're talking to Michael Nysewander right now inside the game here on Tide 99.1 as we move forward. Let me talk about Lane Kiffin for a couple of minutes, because yesterday I made a statement, and I'll stand behind it. I think he's one of the most underappreciated assistant coaches in college football. Talk about Lane Kiffin and the brilliant offensive mind that he is behind the scenes.
I absolutely 100% agree with you. I think he doesn't get enough credit. He catches a lot of crap, if I'm allowed to say crap on the radio. But he's unbelievable. Right when he got to Alabama, everybody knew he was the real deal. I don't think he had officially taken the job yet, but he was sitting in on one of the meetings. And he's just given insight and information on things that, you know, we weren't even sure about. And it was just right from the minute he took control, and he knew he's a guy that knows what he wants to do, and he has he's really good about matching personnel with what he wants to do, if that makes sense. He gets the players he has, and he kind of creates his offense on that. You saw it with Blake, you saw it with Amari, you saw it with Derek this year. And, I mean, I don't think a guy like that, I don't think, you know, you can't give him enough credit, because, you know, some guys will go out there and, you know, well, this is the type of coach I am, so I'm going to run the ball or I'm going to throw the ball. That's not really how Coach Kiffin is. He kind of gets out there and he matches his personnel with the plays he likes to call. And, I mean, I think he's the best in the game, in my opinion.
Let's talk about the future a little bit. The offense, got a lot of wide receivers. We look at quarterback. We know that's going to be a major conversation. Can you give us a little tip in there in that quarterback battle? That's going to be 3 horses, could be 4. We add the new recruit, the big-time quarterback out of Texas, Jalen Hurts. Sort of give us a little scouting report on those those quarterbacks, if you don't mind, if you can.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, all those guys really, every one of them, you know, I think could be a proven quarterback. I think every single one of them has great leadership skills. You know, ability to go out there and get the job done. I think anybody who wins over that job is gonna really do great for Alabama. And again, like having Coach Kiffin back, I mean, he'll come up with an offensive plan to work around the guys he has out there. And so whoever gets the job done, I know they'll do good. And I really just look forward to seeing the leadership qualities that guy will have coming out. So.
All right, give us a little tip on the running back. You had a chance to block for a couple of these guys. Damian Harris, Bo Scarborough returns. There's some other depth there, but it seems like those guys are earning for that number 1 position. Sort of break down their talents if you can for those 2 guys.
Yeah, both of them, again, are great. I mean, Damian, you know, he's a guy. Alabama's always had that, you know, traditional 1-2 punch with Coach Saban, and I think, again, you'll see that this year with Bo and Damian. I think they're both, you know, great football players as well as great people. I mean, both of them come to work every day, and you know, that's all you can really ask. So I think the Tide's in good hands with those 2 guys. Both of them are going to come to work and give us everything they got. Bo, you know, it looks like he's going to be that bruising back, and Damian looks like he's a little bit more a shifty type role. But I think again, it's going to be that 1-2 punch, and I'm looking forward to seeing those guys play. Burton
Burns, wow. What he's been able to do, and he's such a class act, is when you have a chance to talk with him and you talk football with him, just an encyclopedia of knowledge. He's often overlooked, but you look at what he's been able to accomplish here in Alabama, the Heisman trophies, the quality backs that he's been able to turn out. You had a personal relationship with him there, playing under him in that specific position group. Just talk about Burton Burns for a minute.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. I said, you know, when we first started the interview that, you know, these championships come from Coach Saban and the staff he puts together, but Coach Burns, I mean, I can't say enough about Coach Burns. He not only does he know his football, but he's a guy that, you know, if something's going on, you can go to him, and he's there to offer a shoulder or whatever. He seems like, you know, another father. He's away from home, and I can't say enough about Coach Burns and the type of person he is, and how he brings the best out of guys, not only on the field but as men too. And I think a lot of my growing up had to do with Coach Burns as well as Coach Williams. You know, those 2 guys were my position coaches, but both of them, I mean, I can't say enough about both of them.
All right, final question. This is a conversation that we've been talking about. We had Dennis Dodd on earlier. Nick Saban is set to receive a raise. If you're Bill Battle, the athletic director at Alabama, and you got a blank check, what do you write it for to Nick Saban? What's he worth, in your opinion?
I'd write it for $20 million, rename DCH Hospital after him, rename University Boulevard after him, whatever he wants. I think he's worth every penny of it, and I think he deserves it. I mean, not only the hardware he brings to Alabama as far as the championship's good, but again, just the type of person he is and the type of person he makes you want to be, and the type of person that, you know, you go to work every day and you want to please Coach Saban. And I don't think there's a price on that.
Michael, what's next for you?
Well, right now I'm in the process of training. I'm going to give Pro Day a shot here coming up March 9th and see if anything sticks with that. I mean, I don't want to hang up my cleats quite yet until somebody makes me. But if that doesn't work out, I'd love to get into the coaching profession and you know, try to make an impact on some of these kids coming up that Coach Burns, Coach Williams, Coach Saban have made on me, and so that's kind of where I'm looking right now.